All right, guys, I am standing well back from the workbench. This thing is absolutely huge. This just arrived on my doorstep. The mailman delivered it. I did not order it. There's no note with it or anything. It is an anti-theft steering wheel lock by LEIQIR. I wish I knew who sent this thing. It says virtually pick-proof, fits all vehicles, and I guess the way it fits is it folds up. That high visibility yellow fits up over the top of the dash, though thieves can see it. And then down here somewhere, they talk about the advantages. See if I can not drop the camera while we look at this thing. High visibility right there deters thieves. So I guess thieves are just repelled by high visibility colors. I don't know. Anyway, let me go ahead and set the camera down. Let's cut this open and take a closer look at this LEIQIR anti-theft steering wheel lock. All right, guys, it's quite a large lock. That bar that goes over the top of your dash, we set the camera down, is coated with some kind of rubber coating. So, keep from marring your car. I guess that's always a good thing. It is pretty bright color, even brighter now that I got it out of that nasty package. The lock itself, let's take a look at the key first. I think we've seen these before. These are tubular locks, 7 pinners, but you'll notice right there, the tensioner is on the outside. So we're starting to see more and more of these type of locks. So anyway, when you slide it in, unlock it, it folds up, just hinges up out of the way. So you set it on top of your steering wheel and then just fold this directly under it, lock it, and shove that in, and it locks in place. So now you know how it's designed to work. Looking at this is pretty cheap metal, pot metal. And then when we flip it over, this whole locking part here, the housing, this is all black plastic. So right away, I don't know what the price point on this is. It's pretty light, so I don't think it could be too high of a price point. And I'm also looking at this locking mechanism, because when this is on the steering wheel like this, you can reach under. You can still access this part where the locking, where that shackle goes into that aluminum body. And I'm guessing here, but that looks pretty flimsy. So let me grab a screwdriver and let's find out how flimsy. All right, I'm just going to take a regular flat tip screwdriver, were I a car thief, I'd probably be carrying one of these. I would reach up under the dash and then just give it a little pry here. And let's see if we can, try not to knock the camera down, Bill. See if we can pry it out without breaking the screwdriver, Bill. And there we go. Well, yeah, offhand, I would say that's not good, unless you're a car thief. Broke a little piece of plastic off the side of the lock, and that dude popped right out of there. Probably not ideal. All right, let me lock it back. Maybe not. I'll use a key, because I'm going to try to pick this thing as well. In fact, let me try one more thing. Come on, lock. There we go. All right, we're relocked. I'm also looking up here on that hinge. There's a single pin. It's about a 1/4 inch diameter pin that holds that in. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to break that. That is pretty substantial, pretty meaty right there. And with all these complex angles, I don't think that would be a viable attack unless we could get that plastic bodied lock to fail some way. I bet we could, but that's probably not reasonable. The other one is clearly the easy way in. Let me go ahead and I'm going to try to clamp this up somehow. Let's see if we can't pick that lock too. All right, guys, I got this giant lock clamped up in my little bitty lock picking vise, but I think that'll probably hold it. All right, exterior tensioning. So we're going the tensioner's on the outside of the key. Slide it in there, we'll turn it, unlocks, and you can see it hinges right up. Push it back down, relock it, and it's kind of locked unless you have a screwdriver, I guess. All right, you guys have seen me pick these before using this tool. This is the GOAT designed by LockNoob and actually built by Sparrows. And it has that little flag right there. So this lock pick will pick the exterior tensioners like this one. and on the other side, it will pick the interior tensioners. I'm not going to use this today, though, because the last time I picked one of these locks, some of you guys said, why don't you just use this tool? And the reason, the lame excuse that I gave you, is that inside of this lock, it's designed for interior tensioning. So there's a roll pin located right there, and it extends all the way to the tip here. But what I've done is I've taken a punch and I've pushed that roll pin back into the body, and it slid surprisingly easily. So it slides back and forth without a whole lot of effort. So I pushed him all the way back out of the way, and now I just tested him earlier. He does fit. So he fits right into the keyway. Well, then I'm left with the question of how do I tension this lock? If I'm going to impression it, how will I tension it? And some of you guys mentioned that we might be able to tension this lock by the pins themselves, provided there's some variation in the bitting. I mean, they can't all be the same bitting, otherwise this tool will simply slide around. But if there's a variation in the bitting, then this should seize up, allow us to impression, and also allow us to turn and unlock it. So let's find out if it works. What I'm going to do first is, this is already loose, I'm going to push all of these sliders, all these needles down so that they're well past the edge, and then I'm going to push it against a flat surface to 0-bit everything. And trying to see through the camera lens, that looks pretty close. They're all zeroed. And then I'm just going to give this a little turn, about a quarter of a turn, just to put a little tension on it. And now, the problem I'm going to face, though, is if I unlock this, I want to be able to relock it. So what I'm going to do is, you see this little set screw, or it's lined up perfectly with the old roll pin. I'm going to index those right at the 12 o'clock position. So that way, if I unlock it, I know how far I have to rotate it back in order to relock it. All right, so it is locked. Let's slide them in there. Push in, a little pressure, and let's impression it just like we do the interior tensioning tubular locks. And it seems to be working. My hand is slipping off, and there we go. How easy. Oh man, I pulled it out. Now I don't know where it's indexed. But all you got to do really is look inside of the lock. I think if you look down inside of it, you can see that the 12 o'clock is located. There's a missing pin right there. So I would just rotate this, put my 12 o'clock, kind of look around the camera here. Should be able to get him right back there. And that should be enough to relock him. And it is. Tighten this up, and you've got the bitting for this lock, just like you do the interior tensioned 7-pin tubular lock. All right, guys, this tool has made the interior 7-pin lock obsolete, and I think now it's also made this lock obsolete as well. So how much fun is that? I do not recommend the LEIQIR anti-theft steering wheel lock. It's got a lot of vulnerabilities. I'm sure there's a lot better options out there, but whoever sent this, if you want it back, let me know. I'll drop it in the mail to you. Appreciate your time, guys. Stay safe. Stay legal.
LockLab, where the fun begins.